Everybody wants to find the perfect match for their financial needs. Secured savings, stress-free access to affordable loans, instant mobile money transfers to MTN and Orange Cameroon, and even a share in the profits as a member owner. For over 7 years, RENCAM Credit Union has been the perfect match for Cameroonians living in the UK and other nationals with interest in the Cameroonian heritage. Visit rencam.co.uk. Join RENCAM Credit Union today, achieving success together. Hi guys, good evening, good evening. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Woman Experience with me, Goretti, your host. So what I've been doing in the meantime is sharing on different platforms. So for those of you who are here already, if you can kindly share as much as you can, that will be very helpful. Thank you very much. So while waiting for a few more people to join, because we're just a few, for those who are here already, thank you for being on time. I really appreciate that. But for those who are yet to join us, please do share, and I will leave you with the ending song of Magasco. Our guests are waiting backstage and they're eager to start. So share, and I'll see you shortly. I'll leave you with Magasco.
baby, oh, I will love you, make you no worry, baby, oh. If I give you better, now me, my God, so baby, give me that, bum bum, give me that, bum bum, baby, give me that, bum bum bum.
Yes. So welcome to the Woman Experience. We're quite a few now, so we're ready to roll. Hi. So again, welcome to the Woman Experience with me, Goretti, your host. And for those who are new to the show, we're coming here to support our beautiful guests tonight. Thank you, first of all, for coming to spend your Wednesday evening with us and supporting our guest. I just want to tell you a bit about what our platform is. So what we do on the Woman Experience platform every Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. British time is we learn through our shared experiences. That's it. No long thing. We learn through whatever we have lived, whatever we have learned, and whatever experiences we've gone through. So that's what the premise of the Woman Experience is. We thank you for joining us. I just have to remind you that our platform is a judgment-free zone. We've been able to create that, and we really respect that. So but if it's also very interactive. So if you've got any questions, if you've got any suggestions, if you've got any comments, if you've got any resources you want to share, please just make sure you leave it in the comment section. And what I do is I try my best during the course of the conversation to bring it onto the stream and read it. And as long as it's relevant to what we're talking about at that time. I do try my very best to read everybody's comment because I know how important they are. But if I do not, I do apologize in advance because sometimes they go by really, really, really fast. So bear with me if I do not read your comments. But once again, I want to thank you very much for being a part of our show tonight. So tonight, our guests, because what I need to remind you on the Woman Experience, I'm the main host, Goretti. We've got our first guest, our main guest, who are the girls we have on today. And then you who's watching at home or through whichever device of yours you're watching, you are our third guest. And so again, we encourage you to be as interactive as possible because remember, we're learning through our shared experiences. So thank you to the Woman Experience, and I'll take you to our guests. Our guests are two very intelligent and vastly knowledgeable girls. They are Kirsten and Aiyven Mbawa. There's a quote by Dr. Seuss, which says this. I'm going to find that. It says, the more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. And I think that these two girls embody that quote so brilliantly. Kirsten and Aiyven are 12 and 11 years old, I think. If I'm not right, correct me if I'm wrong, girls. But when you listen to them speak, you're reminded of the saying that readers are leaders. These girls will blow you away. Kirsten and Aiyven, they are articulate, they're confident, they are fluent, and they have made history as Northamptonshire's youngest authors at the time their books were published. Most importantly, they are Cameroonian girls. So they are our daughters. They are our babies, making us all incredibly proud. I have to say kudos to their parents for a job well done. I used to read their moms. Their mom is a member of the TWE community. So yeah. Shout out to you, Inda. I used to also read their mom's articles and stories on Medium. And it is very obvious that the apples did not fall too far from the tree at all. So TWE tribe, TWE community, please join me to welcome our beautiful daughters, Northamptonshire's youngest authors, Kirsten and Aiyven Mbawa, to the stream. Hi, girls.
Hi, Auntie Goretti. Thank you for having us here.
Oh, that was cute. You said it in unison. That sounded really cute. There are quite a few people watching already. Sadly, I have adopted the new Facebook profile because Facebook changed their profile recently. So for some reason, I can't see the names of the people who are joining the show. So I can't call you out. But guys, just know that I thank you for watching. But I can't, like we normally do, say hello to the guests that are joining. But Kirsten, when I say raise your hand, Kirsten's the one to our left of the screen, and Aiyven, and Aiyven is the one in yellow. You see, I did watch your YouTube video where you were showing us your wardrobe, and you said yellow is your favorite color. Yes. I love that. I love that you're already thinking about like branding in that sense, girls. So, but there are quite a few people now whom I can read their comments. Any Nyamdeng, Fombak, Eve Shopex says Goddy is watching. Collie, and Besharel, if you know any of those, I think these are your people. So welcome to the show, guys. Auntie Annie is also watching, girls, and they're saying they're already. Oh, great! You can read the comments. That's perfect. So I don't know. You can read the comments. Kirsten, Aiyven, your authors.
Yes, we are.
How do you feel? Has it sunk in yet that you're actually authors?
To be honest, no. If we just look at our books, you think, wait, are those actually our books? Our books are here, by the way. If you just look, like, my name is on a book cover. When I go into shops, I see Jacqueline Wilson, Rick Riordan, Suzanne Collins. But I'd never imagined my name to be imprinted on the front of a book cover. So I still haven't gotten over the fact that we've written books.
Sometimes I just think, oh wait, we've actually published books, and it just seems so surreal. But if I think about it properly, it's just very overwhelming thinking that we've actually got a book with our name written on them.
With your name on it. So this is Land of the Neurogons. The Zest for Quest, and this is Sagas of Anya, which I actually started reading. Don't worry, Aiyven, I'm going to get to yours. But you know, when your mom put the post out on Facebook that her daughters had written books, when I was when I thought, okay, I'm just going to buy these books to support the girls. But I thought, okay, it's probably going to be like 100 pages or so it's not going to be anything. When the books were delivered, I was like, what? This one's over 300 pages, and this one is over 200 pages. Like, what's your thought process? How do you keep motivated to write 300 pages worth of fiction? How?
Well, we just think when we were writing our books, it wasn't like the best of the time. As we were children, we still wanted free time, and we couldn't dedicate all of our time to writing, but we really wanted to and get our books out there. So our motivation was really think of what's going to happen in the end. You will go through all of this pain, but it will be worth it. So if you give up now, you're probably going to regret it more than going through all of that trouble to reach your final goal.
So at what age did you start writing these books?
Last year, I think it was, that we started writing these books. So I was 11 at the time.
And I was 10. And before that, were we 9 and 10, or were we 10 and 11 when we entered the...
Yeah, so these books were started by a BBC 500-word entry. Sadly, place, but our parents thought we could make our entries into something more, and we did.
Oh, great. So I have a surprise for you girls. And for all those who are watching, there's so many lovely aunties leaving wonderful comments in the comment section, and also proud of you. But I have a surprise for you, because my son, Sean Martin, read, because I gave him Aiyven's book first, because I thought it was a really big book, and he's the older brother, so he should start with that. And he is here. Come on, Sean, say hello to the girl.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Kirsten.
So Sean wanted to do a live review of, following in the footsteps of the Mbawa book reviewers, because the girls, their YouTube channel is the Mbawa book reviewers, and what they do there is they review different books, and they do a brilliant job, and their energy is so infectious that, I'm an adult, but I spent all day watching you girls, and I didn't get bored. So I need to commend you on that. You are quite some characters. It was really good.
Yeah.
So Sean wants to do a book review for you guys. So here you go, Sean. This is my son, Sean Martin.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Aiyven. Hi, Kirsten. So I want to do a book review. Hi. So I want to do a book review on Aiyven's book, since I've only read hers first, Land of the Norrogans, The Zest for Quest. But the first two things I want to say is congratulations on the books, girls, and thank you, Aiyven, for signing the book by yourself.
It's no problem. Thank you for buying them, and we hope you enjoyed them.
You're welcome. So, and I did. So the first thing I want to say about this is that this book is basically about a boy living with his family. He thinks he's just a normal kid like every other person, but he does not know that he's actually chosen for something. So one day when he's just walking down the road and he sees a big hole and he thinks it's a mirage, but he doesn't know it's actually real. So he keeps walking on and on and on. And then he actually falls in the dark abyss and wakes and lies there unconscious and only can hear a few faint voices.
Okay, cool. So what did you think of it?
I think it was very cool. And especially I like the part when all the main characters got like the staffs that had really cool powers.
Thank you so much.
But I ask a question.
Oh yeah, of course.
Aiyven, how did you think of like the staffs and what the characters' names would be?
Well, it may seem a bit weird, but I sometimes go to Google and I type in, unusual girl names, unusual boy names. Some of them are regular. And if I find a cool one and I want to make a really unique name, I kind of merge some names together and it creates a new word and it creates a new name. And it's really hard to keep up with, but it is kind of cool doing that because it's more original than just getting something straight off the internet. And also with the staffs, I had to brainstorm. I had to think, well, this fantasy book had this in it, and then this one had this in it. Maybe I should really create something unique. I didn't want to use wands like in Harry Potter. I wanted to create something different. And after a bit of thinking, a staff came to mind, and I thought, how could I utilize this, and how could I use it? And it just came to me that these staffs can have different powers to the rest and be unique.
I like the idea that you got it from Harry Potter. But
yeah,
I guess I like the staffs too because of the powers and I don't really know how they look like, but they would probably look cool.
Yeah, that's for your imagination, right? That's the whole purpose of books. I always tell you, books can can transport you to wonderful places because you get to use your imagination. So it's really amazing. But thank you, Sean. Sean, do you want to say bye for now?
Bye, everybody, because I have to eat a cake that I made.
Okay, bye, Sean.
That description about my book. You worded my book better than I did myself.
Oh, he actually really loved it. So he just baked a cake and he had to have that for dinner. So he's gonna have that. But how did it feel, Aiyven, have someone doing a book review on your book? Because I know that's what you guys do on the Mbawa book reviews, and I just wanted you to feel, because it's really fascinating to me, and I think the authors really. I wonder how the authors feel when they hear you reviewing their book. So with Sean Martin doing that for you, how did it feel?
Well, honestly, when I get reviews, it's normally on Amazon or by message or WhatsApp. So you can read it and it really does feel good, but you don't get the full impact. So having someone actually standing there and explaining to everyone about your book, it really makes you feel, recognized. It just makes a lot more sense now that people are actually reading my book. People actually know these characters. It's not just all in my head. And it's a really good feeling.
Great. That honestly, you should be so proud because we are also proud of you. And like I told you, when a child is doing well, we all adopt the child. And I think the whole Cameroonian community, that's what you're right now, is very proud of you guys and has adopted you guys. So let's go back now to the beginning of this. How did it start? Where did your interest in books begin?
Our interest in books began at a young age. Probably since we were maybe 1 or 2, our parents would read really small stories to us, even though we couldn't understand. Just having our parents being there, reading the books to us, kind of got us in that kind of reader's mindset. And when we got a bit older, to the age of 5+, we started writing our own short stories and reading our own books like the Kipper series, the Rainbow Magic series, even some small Jack and Wilson series. We just started reading and we just soon learned to love it. It was our substitute for anything. We probably choose reading over games.
Yeah, also, our parents used to put a lot of expression into reading. So when you're young, you always like that really interactive sort of thing. So when it came to reading, our parents would put lots of expression, act out faces, and it was just so fun to read. And we always used to want to read all of the time.
I love that. So I love that. So your parents really played a big role in getting your in encouraging your love for books. I really like that. Parents, it starts from us. So I mean, we get the odd child that just comes out and is fascinated by books and loves to read books, but then a lot of it is the nurturing, and it's how you raise them and how you build that love for books in them. So we need to do our bit so that we get beautiful girls like this as authors at the ages of 12 and 11. Yeah, that's every parent's dream, isn't it? Like Auntie Annie says, charity begins at home. That is so true. Charity truly does begin at home. So tell me, what was the if I say book to you, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Magic.
For me, I would think an escape. No, an escape from reality. If I'm just on my bed and I'm sat with a book, all of the problems of the day, all of the problems of tomorrow, they just go out of my head. It's just me and the character, or me in that magical faraway land. And I feel like I'm walking along with that character, writing down their journey as well as them telling me theirs. And it's like a portal. It just transports you into a land. You forget everything. It's just you in the book.
When I come off from reading, I sometimes feel like a bit dazed, like, oh, I've just, it's a bit like just coming off a plane, because, it's just so, you kind of just get stuck in that world of reading. And for some people, just, oh, I want to read just one more chapter. But for us, it's like, I want to stay in this world.
I so relate with that, because when I was your age, when I was younger, I was an avid reader. I actually had a nickname that my brothers called me. They said over the newspaper, because because my head was always in a newspaper. I didn't have as many books, but what I had to read, anything that I could lay my hands on, I was always reading it. So I totally relate with that. What would you say to a little girl or boy that's watching this now and say, I can't do books, mom. Books are boring.
Find a genre that suits you. Sometimes I think like, oh, I don't want to read, well, not really me, but other children might think books aren't cool, books are boring, because lots of children these days spend a lot of time on social media and not enough time doing educational things like reading and stuff like that. So I think if you're having maybe a reading block, or you think reading isn't cool or it's tedious, then I think find a genre that suits you and find an author that you like. I promise you, there's an author and a genre for every kid out there. My genre is historical fiction, definitely, dystopian fiction. Find your genre or an author. Just keep reading. If you don't like the book, put it down. Search on Amazon for a genre you like. Try a new genre like reality or something like that. Mm-hmm. So just keep reading, I would say.
And Aiyven?
I think I definitely agree with what Kirsten said. And I also think try to limit the time you do on other things. And also, a big part of us reading was, I know we love to read in everything, but sometimes it's because we have nothing else to do and we just go to reading, and that's really good. If you don't have all of this fancy technology, then you won't be tempted to go over and, play on that or do that instead of reading. And I'm not saying, sell your Xbox, do this, but maybe try to limit time on that so you have more space for reading. And I don't think there's anyone, there might be, but I don't think there's anyone out there who wants to stop their child from reading.
Parents, is there anyone out there who wants to stop their child from reading? I'm not sure. The average African parents just wants their child to be successful in something. It doesn't matter what, they want their child to be successful in something. So that's our ultimate goal. So if our child is going to be successful as an author, and I want to commend your parents, and I want to get your mom here if she's ready. Inda, can you join us? Because I want you as a parent to really explain the journey to some of us parents who may be new on this, who think that my child may like books, but I don't really know how to direct them. Not everybody's child will be an author, right? Not all of our children will grow up to be young authors and history-making authors like Kirsten and Aiyven, but at least they can be transported into those wonderful worlds, because there's so much you benefit from reading, isn't it? There is so much. Do you guys want to name a few things that how you think reading that vastly and different genres has been beneficial to you, girls?
When you talk to people, you feel more superior. You know all this new vocab, all this vocab. People like, whoa, she knows like what this word means, you know, and it just makes you feel, as I said before, superior, and that you know all these things that people don't, and it just improves your mind a lot. I would say this is probably isn't true, but I think 99.99999% of people who read are more likely to do well in life and be, well, frankly, smarter than others. So their brain is just more developed, reading all these different books, experiencing themselves to all this different vocabulary.
That is
You may not know it, but by reading, you know, it's kind of just attaching to you. Like you can read a new word and you think, oh, what am I going to do with that word? But your teacher asks you a question, and this is what happened to me once. I read a new word in the book, and the teacher asked me, what is an interesting word that we could use for this situation? And I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew that this word was the right word to say. So we can use this word. And the teacher was really happy with me because it was a very different sort of response, something very interesting. And reading does that. It kind of finds a way to get into you even when you least expect it.
It does, doesn't it? There is a lot of statistics that say that just if a child reads 20 minutes a day at home, they would, let's say you start a child at nursery who reads 20 minutes a day at home, just 20 minutes, they will hear 1.8 million words per year. So you can imagine what that does to their vocabulary. You can imagine what that does to their mind, their experiences. Because once you can articulate something, whatever it is you're feeling, if you have a word for everything, you kind of have a solution for that thing. That's what I think. Yeah, so that's what I really, really love about that. I'm going to read some comments. Mom, I want Mom on the show. If Mom can come, while Mom gets ready, I'm going to read some comments from some people who are really, really also proud of you. I admire Milbrick Spencer says, I admire their confidence. Go girls. Well done, my brother Valentine Mbawa and my darling Inda Tatani Mbawa for raising these gorgeous and brilliant girls. They're going greater places. Honestly, Milbrick, they are going places. Henrietta says, we as parents need to harness our children's interests and promote their skills. Each child is individual and each blessed with so many different gifts. Let's harness it and promote their growth. Well done, girls. So proud of you. Well done, girls. Girls, listening to this, what would you like to say to your parents about your love for reading? If there's something, what would you like to say to them?
Well, I think our love for reading, this may seem a bit vague. There's so much to say about it. Our love for reading is so intense that, you know, we have like, normally it's, when we do something bad, we have laptops and everything. We love to read, but that doesn't mean that we like don't play games and stuff. We still play games. So when we've done something bad, our parents are like, okay, we'll take your laptop away from you and we'll take your phone away from you. And we're still upset, but we kind of chill because we know we still have books. But when it's something that is quite bad and our parents take away books, it's just like we go in our room. There's nothing, literally nothing to do. And reading, you should really get into reading because it's just, even in a small situation like that, it's a way to let yourself free.
Kirsten?
I want to say thank you to our mum and dad for introducing us to reading at a very young age. I think if we started reading any more than we did, we wouldn't have been that experienced. Our brains wouldn't have been that developed. And I think it's really good to develop something or start something at a really young age because then it just goes with you along with your life. Like if a child starts dance at a young age, they're more likely to be a really good dancer when they grow up than if they start dance when they're 12 or 13. So I think it's really good that we started at a young age because that love for reading has just stuck with us all the way through to my nearly teenage years.
So, apart from your books, Kirsten and Aiyven, what's your favorite book? I have a favorite book.
My favorite book's actually right here with me. This is a book by Suzanne Collins, and she is, if you may know her more famously, she is the author of the Hunger Games series. I love that series, and she recently came out with this book, and I was so excited to read this. It's so descriptive. It's giving me so many new ideas. When I read, I have to have my phone right next to me because it's got so many words I don't know. I have to quickly go on the Oxford Dictionary and search them up. So descriptive, so captivating, and I really like this book.
Okay, and what's yours, Aiyven?
My favorite, well, it's not a book, but it's a series. It's quite generic. I love Harry Potter with a passion. You know, it's so good. I've watched the movies, I've read the books. I'm currently rereading the books, and I love Harry Potter. But to be a bit different, I have this book here as well, and I love this book as well. This is Geek Girl, and this is only the first book. I started reading it. I had the book. I started reading it, and then I stopped. And I thought, why not pick it up again and reread it? And I'm so glad I've gotten into this because the amount of effort this book might have taken into this is Harriet Manners, and she's a really smart person. So I can imagine the research put into this, finding all of these facts, these equations. I just love this book as well, and it teaches me new things too. So it's just all around a really good book.
I think that's the beauty of books. You go into all these different worlds. I always tell my children, if there's anything you want to know, it's been written in a book. Just get the book and you will get the answer to that thing that you want to know. Auntie Louisa is asking, my 5-year-old wants to know why you both like reading.
That's a really good question, Auntie Louisa. I think the reason why we love reading so much, because one, we started at a really young age, and not that we were forced into it, but we were just like, oh, okay, books. That's the only thing we were really introduced to back then. But also, as I said before, it's kind of like a portal. If I'm having like a bad day, or it's like just a rainy, gloomy day, and I'm feeling a bit under the weather, grab a good book, grab a cup of hot chocolate, sit in my room, just snuggle up in the blanket and just read. And it's just so cozy and warm, and you just, go along with your character in the new fantasy land. Yeah, it's just takes you out of real life. That's why I like reading.
I like reading because, with things like video games, it gets very repetitive if you're playing it hours on end, and you get very bored of it. But with books, every page you turn, it's something new. It's something different to explore, something new to find out, and it never really gets boring. And there's millions and millions of books in the world. I remember researching this a while ago. I forgot the exact numbers, but there's millions of books out there, and there's bound to be at least one for you, and maybe that book is even in a series. So reading, you never gets bored, and you just want to find out more, do more. But whereas with a game, you know what's going to happen next, and you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Reading, it's not like that.
So, Grandma asked, what advice would you give to children who prefer phones to reading books?
This is a really tricky one because once a child is attached to a phone or a device, it's really hard to strip them away. We should know, not to expose our little sister too much, but she definitely likes to play on the phone a lot. She does love reading. We've introduced her to some older books now. She's 5 years old. She does love reading, but she also really loves the phone, playing games like Roblox. And I think to get her off reading, we just have to say, set a limit on the devices, definitely. If you can't just get them to do it willingly, set a limit. That's what we've done. So we set limits for her. Okay, then come off now, do some reading, come and wind down, read a book. But yeah, I think it's just set limits, tell them how long they can have, maybe a week or per day. Say, okay, you have to spend at least 1 hour reading today if you want 2 hours gaming time. So they get a reward for doing that, and eventually they'll do it willingly.
Yeah. You girls are parents' dream. Yeah, Aiyven. Go on.
I think also when you're on social media, there's a chance of you getting hurt. There's a big chance of you seeing someone that's slimmer than you, who has nicer hair than you, who has who just you think looks better than you or is better than you. But when you're reading, you see none of that. It's just a character, and most of the characters are going through insecure times. And I'm not saying you should use the book or anything, but sometimes it kind of gives you a little boost to know that you're not living the life of someone as bad as this person. You can see their insecurities, and you just know how lucky you are. And with social media, all you really see is the good things. You never see the people who are insecure. You never see the people who aren't as privileged. you only see the people who are beautiful, really slim. So with social media, it's not that good for your self-esteem. But with books, you can escape to a whole new world with people like you, with people different than you, and you can just explore everything.
That's great. Auntie Vivi says reading is like the theater of the mind.
That's very true.
That's very true, isn't it? Hi, Mom. That's Mom in the background.
So, Mum.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Anu. Thank you so much for having the girls. And thank you to everybody who's watching. We're so grateful. Thank you.
The girls are brilliant, honestly. In the whatever you guys have done, I really want you to share the magic now, because we need to find a way to write it down or bottle it and try to pass it on to our children. So tell me exactly how you were able to nurture and harness these talents.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I have the right words for it or if there was anything really that special. But I'll tell you a little story. And before that, I love writing. And I'd like to be in their position, to have something published that I've written that inspired me to pick up my writing again, if I can find the time. But I think the one thing that we did have was when we were pregnant with Kirsten, we walked into a shop and we were looking for a bed. And there was this lady behind the counter and she said, you're having a baby, what are you having? Oh, you're having a girl, excited, and all of that. So I'll tell you something. When you have that child, talk to them and treat them like a mini adult. Don't treat them like a child.
Okay.
And that stayed with us. That really resonated with us because as a people, we have a culture of mumbling to children, and we dumb them down in certain ways. So we really took that advice on board, and it's together with reading, together with introducing them to reading. So I'd rather Kirsten or Aiyven or Caitlin ask me, Mommy, what does this word mean? And I'll just say the word, I'll communicate with them as I would possibly an adult. And I'd rather know what that word means. And then they'll learn. Next time there'll be another word, and so on and so forth. But also starting the reading thing early, because it was all about books, because you could hide something in a book and probably many people won't be able to find it. But I have the time that they have to read and develop that culture. When you're older, you might not have the time to do it now. So, and that's what we did, reading to them from a very young age, playing the right music, I would say, from when we were pregnant with them. Classical music, what Aiyven was telling you in the background, she loves instrumental, but I think also that comes from when we were pregnant, it just inspired when we had them. So there's things like that, but also try to develop their emotional intelligence and try to, the one thing that I think maybe you realize that they're very much one spirit. They're 14 months apart, but they're the best of friends. But we made sure that they could accept and relate to one another as best as they could.
So you were really intentional in the way you raised them.
Yeah, very much so. Forgiveness had to be swift.
Yeah.
And it became a habit. And I don't know where I read this, but we made sure forgiveness was a habit. So then, you understand and you accept one another and you talk your things out. Because I'm almost too sensitive in certain ways. They tell me that when they fight, it breaks my heart. So you need to be able to talk things through and forgive quickly and move on, so you don't waste time in your precious time you've got together. So there's things like that, and it's got to be said about Daddy. Anybody who's watching will know Daddy for how good he is with children. I don't even know. There are no words to say what life would have been like if it hadn't been for him as a daddy. He really has this good way, amazing way of being balanced. He's a friend, dad. He's and rotten, but he's also stern when he needs to be stern. So there's that balance. There's that good balance. That really is it. We try and have conversations as much as we can, but you know what life is like here. You work hard. You don't often have the time. But when you have a conversation, make it meaningful. Let there be something that they're taking away from there.
You guys have, I mean, see, Auntie Vivi says she's a great mom. Yeah, because our children are truly a representation of the environment in which they grew up and an extension of who we are. I find that. And so seeing your girls, listening to your girls, watching them on the Mbawa book reviews on YouTube, it's truly a representation of a really wholesome upbringing and a happy home. You can see that. And I just want to say kudos to you guys. Honestly, you've done brilliant. And nothing.
So as every home, as everything else, but you know, it's we do try and make sure we put them first, we give them the best. But you know,
Kirsten, thumbs up.
I wish, it's the same with our children. We wish children would trust us more. We went somewhere yesterday, didn't we? And somebody was saying, listen to your parents. And we were just talking about that earlier in the evening. I said, this man is a stranger. I said, trust your parents, trust what your parents say. And we all wish, don't we, that our children would trust us more. But it's the process of life. It's the learning process.
It is. Yeah. And the
the
parenting never stops. Yeah, so.
It never does. It never does. And I, for one, you know, sometimes we have mommy guilt that I call my mommy doubt because I didn't have a mom. My mom passed away 3 days shy before, 3 days shy of my first birthday, that was. So growing up and having children, you know, you take for granted when you have somebody to model being a mother after. Yeah. You take for granted the fact that you cannot doubt your next step. You cannot doubt what you're doing because you had somebody to model that for you. So there are so many women who have been that figure for me. And I think in a way it's enriched my experience because I'm always looking from other women and seeing what they're doing and how I can improve my modeling. So there's always a journey, there's always a curve, but we're trying. We're trying.
And that's all we can do. But you're doing brilliant. So thank you so much, Mom. So want to go away now so we stay with the stars.
All right. Thank you again. Thank you so much from everybody for having them.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And Collie is saying great parenting. And Grandma is saying you're great parents. Congratulations. So girls, before I'm going to read, somebody asked a question which I want to read. Girls, Auntie Annie says, girls, your sister Makeng wants to know what else do you like apart from reading?
Oh, I would say most children definitely like to game a bit, you know, do all that electronic stuff. We definitely like to do that a bit. We make sure our reading stays our priority though. We make sure we keep on reading a lot. But we do like to game a lot. We like to watch TV occasionally. We like to also do lots of arts and crafts. We love to play in the garden with our pet cat Zaki. Yeah, we like to do, the other day we were making bow and arrows in the garden. We were painting in the garden. I also like working in the garden for some weird reason, like doing our Chinese work, doing our writing courses, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. We also do tennis and we like to do gymnastics as well. We've had a break from gymnastics because the gym has been closed. But for tennis, we've been going to our tennis court. It's only about 5 minutes away from our house, even less maybe. So we can just walk to our tennis court and we're a member there. So anytime we can just go and practice. And our parents are both actually very good tennis players. So they're kind of mentoring us along with a few like tips from YouTube as well.
So go, do you know what it means to be a role model?
Yeah, I think a role model, in my opinion, is someone you can look up to, someone that inspires you. Like my role model would be maybe an author or maybe someone who's like a young person that has achieved a lot at a young age. So I could say my role model was Suzanne Collins because her books have more than 15,000 reviews on Amazon. You know, she's earning $20 million. She's earned $20 million. In 2012, she earned $20 million for her series. And I aspire to be like that, you know, that she's kind of my role model. So I think it's kind of someone you aspire to be, someone who inspires you, someone that you can look up to. Can kind of be not a guide through life, but, you know, kind of your guide in a way.
And even?
I think a role model is someone where you can, you know, you can be like, oh, I want to be like them. I want to act like them. I want to do what they do because role models are really good because if everyone tried to be a role model, we'd have a perfect world because everyone's doing the right thing. Everyone's saying that person's doing really good. I want to be like that person. I want to strive to do really well in class, to do this. We'd have a really good world. And in our school, we have a buddy system. So the receptions get paired with someone from year 6. And the people in year 6 have to be their role model. They have to, play with them. They have to and it just really, I think it's also good to help the receptions be welcome, but it's also really good to help the year 6s, act like better people, because they're having these younger children watching them. If you're bad, they're going to be bad. If you're good, they're going to be good. So, you really have to, it really helps you to, just be a good person.
To understand responsibility and leadership. And so I'm sure you've lived through that, because now, Aiyven, you're going to year 7, right?
Yeah.
So you had a buddy. What are you allowed to say your buddy's name? You had a buddy in your primary school?
Yeah, my buddy's name is Penelope, and she was so sweet. She was quite cool for her age, actually. A bit random.
Do you guys realize that by default you are now role models to other young aspiring writers, or even older aspiring writers, because you have a book, fiction books published, and it's shown this again. Do you realize by default you're now role models?
It's just starting to sink in a little bit that, whoa, we are actually role models. People look up to us. And in that sense, we have to kind of be more responsible about what we post online, how we present ourselves online as well. Because people are looking at every move. Oh my gosh, Kirsten and Aiyven did this. I want to do this. We have to make sure we present ourselves in a way that we want our role models to present themselves. I think it's really amazing that we're role models and that people are actually looking up to us. We're always looking up to other people, but to have it the other way around is kind of
I can only imagine. I don't know, but Aiyven, you?
I can definitely agree with Kirsten. And also, we live in it's hard and sad to say, but we live in a very judgmental world. So whatever you post, even if it's a good intention, someone's going to find a way to dislike you. And that's only because you're getting popular, you're getting fame. But when you're a role model and you just do the right thing, there's literally nothing for people to dislike you about, to post bad about you about. So it's just good to be good, because there's no reason for anybody to get angry at you, because you're just a good person. And being a role model, it has started to sink in that, people want to be like us. We see some comments saying people are inspired to start writing by us.
Yeah.
And it's hard to take in, but it's really amazing.
Yeah, it really is. But saying that, people are, no matter how good or nice you are in life, I'm just going to say this from experience as a much older person, there's some people who are just not going to like you, but you have to, don't take it personal. They're just some people who are not going to like you. You can be Jesus Christ, and there's still going to be people that won't like you. Okay, so just bear that in mind as you grow up, so that, like they say, when you keep the naysayers at bay. Okay, don't let them into your space, but protect your space and recognize that you can't please everyone. You just can't. But just do the right things and go with your heart, and you'll be fine. But Auntie Vicky is saying you both are absolutely amazing. You really are. So this is Auntie Vivi. She says their childhood is almost identical to mine and my siblings. So much deja vu. The gymnastics, the tennis, the arts and crafts, so groovy. And Auntie Vivi is a really, really successful tech businesswoman, and who is going to be our guest on Friday, actually. So if mom and dad can let you tune in a little bit, you
tune in.
So you know her?
Yes, we do. I think we've heard of her before. Our mums talked about her.
Perfect. So you guys are going to grow up and be even more successful than her, right? So as role models, Kirsten and Aiyven, by the way, who did your parents coach you on who to always speak first? Because Kirsten always speaks first and then Aiyven does. Did they coach you?
Like when we're doing BBC radio interviews or just interviews in general, we just I don't know, since I'm the oldest, I just naturally go first, and then Aiyven just follows after.
I'm trying to give her time that I should go first. So she's not taking them.
She's older, and you know how it is in Cameroonian homes, right? You have to respect your elders. And Auntie Rosemary says, my daughter started writing a book yesterday. She just got her role models tonight.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Just a lot of advice. Don't give up on your book. It will get challenging, but don't give up. Thank you so much for saying that we're your role models. We are hoping that your book goes really far.
If you're successful without challenges, then you might as well not be successful, because it's not all going to be smooth sailing. So there will be challenges, but just keep on pushing.
Wow, you guys are so smart. Oh my gosh. How old are you? You already know all these things that we had to learn as adults. My goodness, brilliant job, honestly. And by the way, for all of you, because I know that a lot of us parents are watching with our children and our loved ones. Their handles is scrolling on the banner underneath the screen. So the Woman Experience with authors Kirsten and Aiyven Mbawa. So you can go on their social media handles and follow them and stay abreast. And girls, are you open to mentoring? I don't know if it may be a bit much, but let me put it out there. Are you opening to mentoring a few young writers?
Well, we haven't actually thought about that, but that would be a really cool idea if we started mentoring. We're doing some creative writing courses ourselves. I think that would be really interesting to mentor some people.
I really like organizing things, and you know businesses as well. I like doing this and I like doing that, and having a system. And me and Kirsten always think of new ideas that we can add to things, and sometimes we get a bit carried away because it's like, oh, let's put a roller coaster. No. But sometimes we get carried away because we just have so many ideas. So being a mentor, it really helped our creativity, and I think that would actually be pretty cool to do.
I'm glad to hear that. So moms and dads, go on their social media handles, follow them, like their pages. Their YouTube page is Mbawa Book Reviewers. They are so funny. I mean, they are very cool girls. You would love it. It doesn't feel like a book review because you would think that book reviews are boring, but these girls make it so interesting, and even for the adults. So make sure you subscribe on their pages, and after the show, I'm going to put the links to where you can purchase their books, because these are fiction books and they're fantasies. Yours, you did say earlier, Aiyven, that you are fascinated by the historical genre, right? Because your story is kind of set in that time, isn't it? It's set in old London. When was it set? Because I couldn't tell if it was like the 1800s or the early 1900s.
It was set kind of in the late 1800s, getting quite close to the 19s. Yeah, so maybe about 18. My voice, maybe about 1850 on from there.
It is a really brilliant book, and even as an adult, I read right up to page 40 something before I stopped. So just know that it will keep you, the adult, glued to it. She did a brilliant job. The number of characters that you created and how you kept their character arc developing and consistent. I was reading it and thinking, how did an 11-year-old child write this? Like this. Honestly, I'm so impressed, and I'm so proud of you, because I think as a child I would have dreamt of doing that, but now that I'm older, obviously I don't even get to read as much as I would love to. But I mean, honestly, you girls did brilliantly. So in total, how many books would you say you've read, Kirsten?
Oh, that's a hard one. I would say, this might be a stretch. Maybe 400, 450, maybe. Yeah, maybe 250 books.
And counting.
Yes, and counting.
It's really hard to pick out a book, because on our bookshelf we have all of these books, but they're either like really young for us or we've read them all. So it's really hard. And we keep on saying to mum and dad, let's do a book, or let's go to WH Smith and find more books. It's hard to find time to, but we absolutely love it.
So is it the same reading what's the difference, or is it the same for you reading a hardcover or reading on a Kindle or on your laptop? Do you find any difference in that?
We have some opinions about that. Great. We don't really mind what book it is, like hardcover, it's all right, but I normally like, paperback, these type of books. Those appeal to me. But, online books, audiobooks, ebooks, Kindles, they don't work with us. We love the traditional style. And, books are supposed to be an escape from technology. So if you're using technology to read a book, it's awesome, you're reading a book. but you're still using technology. So the traditional style of reading books, so actually using, a cover like this, I really like that way.
I like the traditional style as well as Aiyven. I don't mind audiobooks that much, but I really dislike Kindle. I just find it kind of confusing to use, and I don't know. Something about Kindle is just so annoying to me. I don't know why, but I just prefer doing the traditional way. I don't really listen to audiobooks, but I don't mind them. It's just something about Kindle that isn't for me. I
one of those things you really dislike, but you don't know exactly why.
Yeah.
I know you're every author's dream at this point, because people like you will help to continue the tradition of keeping books in paperbacks, right? That is great, girls. So tell me, have you guys ever been to Cameroon?
Yes, we have been to Cameroon. We've been twice. We'd love to go more, but since some things that have been happening in Cameroon recently, we haven't had that chance to go.
So there has been, we have been to Cameroon twice before. One time we were really young, and then one time we were a bit older. And of course, we don't really remember the time when we were younger. So, but when we can explain a bit more about when it was 2016 that we went.
Yeah. Well, the first time we went when we were quite young is for our parents' wedding. I was only 10, I can't remember that much, but I've seen it from the pictures. And yeah, it was in 2009, I think. That was when my sister was born.
Yeah, I was born in 2009, so I was a couple months old at the time.
I believe you were born in 2009 was just yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it feels like yesterday.
Yeah, so where did you visit in Cameroon? Which parts of Cameroon do you remember?
So on our second time, we arrived in Douala, and the thing that we remember the most is the heat. We could smell the heat, we could see the heat, we could feel the heat. It's so hot there. We were just, when we walked out from like the air-conditioned airport, we were like heat right in our faces.
Yeah, welcome to Cameroon. And you? And Aiyven?
Yeah, when we got there, it was such a difference, because we came from England. So, the typical rain. And then we arrived in Douala, and it was just, as Kirsten said, heat, heat, heat. Also, we had to wait quite a while for our bags, because, those conveyors that your suitcases go around, there was only one of those. So we had to wait ages for our bags. And there were quite a few people in the airport. So I think it must have been, how long would it have been? Like half an hour?
Yeah, half an hour.
That we had to just stay there waiting for our bags, and it was very, very tiring. Especially I was 7 at the time, and you were 8 at the time, so it was very tiring for us.
And then from the airport, we went to Boya, to our grandpa's house, and we had a really fun time there. Our grandpa and grandma's house. In the morning, we do a workout with our grandpa, which was really fun.
Tiring.
We were also staying there with family, friends, and family members. And the thing that was really fun was there was a little market in front of the house. Well, not in front, but in front of the clothes that our grandpa lived.
This is the house, and then next to it is the market.
And there was...
You were only 7.
Yeah.
That's really good memory. That's great. So if there's a little girl watching you, or boy watching you now from Cameroon, and they're thinking, well, these girls, it's easy for them to write a book and read a lot because they're in England. It's harder for us in Cameroon. What advice would you give that little girl or boy?
Okay, I've got some advice for this one. Trust me, anyone can start reading. Like if I can, you can definitely start reading. But I'm going to give 3 tips. My first tip is read, read, read. The more you read, as I've mentioned in the slide previously, your brain develops, you understand more vocabulary, and you're just a more developed and improved person overall. My second tip is to download a Word of the Day app. If you're not familiar with it, type it up in your app store or whatever you use to download apps.
They may not have access to the app store. This is Cameroon, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My next tip is just to find an author or a genre that suits you. And I have one more tip. When you're out about, not just look with your eyes, look with your ears. And our mum also says, look with your energy, which basically means you just, take in everything. You can use all of that in your description. You know, you don't just look with your eyes, you look with your ears, with everything. And that's is a really good way to be descriptive with your work.
Great.
One of my tips is to when it's even if it's just your parent, like some people may not have access to things like that, and they don't but just get a writing mentor. Even if it's just your mum or dad, if they have love for reading and writing, you can ask them, what word should I put here? What should I do this? Can you read this through? You don't even need a laptop for it. You just need a paper and pen. You can start writing and at least have someone to look over your work. Because when you read your own work, it just looks all the same. You don't notice the mistakes. But when someone else reads it, they can spot, oh, that's spelled wrong. Oh, this. So it's really good to have someone who looks over your work.
Yeah.
My next is when you're reading, it's really good to read for fun, and you should find time to do that. But also take the time to read and jot notes down. So say, oh, that's a really good phrase. I like that. Write it down in a notebook or on a paper. And just read like a writer. Read with the knowledge that you are going to implement that into your writing.
Well done, girls. This is really brilliant. I have enjoyed every minute spent with you guys, and I'm sure we could talk for even longer. But as babies, because you're still babies to me, right? Because you were just born yesterday. So I'm gonna let you guys go so you can spend some time with your family before you go to sleep. But this has been really, really great, girls. And these are their books. I'm gonna put the links of their Amazon links where you can buy their books on the resources page of the Woman Experience. But I mean, I'm sure you agree with me. They are so smart. They really are. This person, Jita Jizembwa, says they are so smart. You girls are really, really, really smart girls. So
Thank you.
Land, this is Aiyven's book, Land of the Neurogons, The Zestful Quest by Aiyven Mbawa. And this is Sagas of Anya by Kirsten Mbawa. Two really, really, really fascinating books. And even if you're not into fiction or fantasy, you would love them. And yours, Aiyven, honestly, you write, Kirsten, you write so mature, so mature. That an 11-year-old wrote that. It's really brilliant. So well done. So smart. Auntie Winnie says so smart, intelligent, and eloquent.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right? It comes across because you have explored all these worlds via all these books. And so, I mean, what else can I say to you? The sky's the limit, girls. Go forth and birth more books. And we'll do our best to push and make sure that everybody, every Cameroonian knows that Aiyven and Kirsten and Aiyven Mbawa are authors and are doing brilliant. So do you guys have any last words for your guests who've been watching tonight?
Thank you to all the guests who've been commenting all these things. We wouldn't be this far if it wasn't for everyone supporting us along the way. All these little comments like you're smart, you know, you're our role models, really do impact us. You might think it's just a comment, but they really do have effect on us, a good effect at that. So thank you so much. And yeah, we really appreciate your comments. They mean so much to us.
This is just what makes doing lives like this it's so fun already, but all of these really nice, engaging comments on top and these compliments, they make it just amazing. So it may just seem like a message, but to us, it's a heartfelt compliment. And we really enjoy reading people's comments and seeing people's comments and hearing what you guys think. And also, please, this is a bit random, but if you have any feedback on our books or if you want to buy them or if you've read them, please don't be afraid to tell us because we are writers, but we still need to improve. So everyone, please give us feedback if you can. And thank you so much.
Before you go, girls, I'm going to ask one last question. In your own words, Aiyven, how would you describe your big sister, Kirsten?
Well, very, very, it's hard. It's hard because me and Kirsten, she's very, she's very, very organized. She's the one who keeps me in check, who sets alarms, who wakes me up. Well, sometimes she does. Sometimes she just leaves it, and that's kind of annoying. She's so nice to be around. And, you know, it's really nice to have a sibling where you're not constantly fighting. And you can just talk to them or, you know, laugh with them. And very just overall a really nice person to have around. And she's probably, I really, you know, I couldn't really get a better friend than Kirsten.
Oh, bless. That's so beautiful. Make us all cry. So now, Kirsten, now you're obliged to say nice things about Aiyven.
Yeah. Aiyven is very funny. She just comes out with the weirdest things to say that are funny. I don't even know where they come from. She just comes up with the weirdest things. She is actually a really nice person. Like, you wouldn't think she's a nice person, but she is actually kind of nice to be around. She's like, you know, really, if you're feeling down, she'll notice, you know, like, she won't just like leave you there. Like, she'll notice. And like, yeah, she's a really good friend. Like, it's good enough to be sisters, but like, it's nothing really if you're not like best friends or really close friends. So yeah, she's just like a really good friend, really loyal as well. Like, I can count on her not to grass me up to mum and dad. And also, the most annoying thing about her though is that she just like on a daily basis, she tells me about like all these random facts about the world and about science. Like, she's a living encyclopedia. You can't go anywhere without her telling you something about tectonic plates or about liquid nitrogen or something like that. Like, it kind of gets annoying sometimes. But it's good. I learn about them, but sometimes you know.
I like that. I actually like that very much, Aiyven. So you're like a living, breathing, walking encyclopedia. Yeah. That's a hard word. Anytime I see you, please give me some of those random facts, because, you know, as you get older, the brain gets smaller. So we need to keep learning, you know, to keep that brain active. Girls, it's been such a delight, really, such a delight to have you girls. You're just amazing. Auntie Lovely says you're amazing girls. Cherish the support from your parents. Honestly, all of this would not have started without the support from your parents. And I just want to tell you girls that we are also proud of you. Like your mom rightly said, it takes a village to raise a child. And I know that you're surrounded by a wonderful village of really wonderful support. And so the wider Cameroonian community is here today to lift you up and to tell you that we've got your back. We are here, you know, and we only wish you the best. So we are going to just be blowing the wind beneath your awful wings so you can fly as high as you can fly. Okay, girls? Fly, 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 fly. And keep repping Cameroon. So proud of you girls. Girls, you said you had some questions for Auntie Goretti. Oh, your dad says you said you had some questions for me.
Oh, yes, we did have some questions for you. So okay. My first question is, you're a movie producer, which is just mind-blowing. How did you keep that up with being a mum of 4, running the Woman Experience show, and being a movie producer on top of that? That must be a difficult job.
So for me, it's not, because it's my passion. So you see what right, as much as it may be challenging to write sometimes, but you keep on doing it because it's your passion. You're really, truly passionate about that. You read, breathe, and leave books, right? So for me, I live, breathe, and walk and some form of entertainment. I just need to express. I have so much within me that I want to express, and yeah, so it doesn't feel like work. And generally, I'm very curious, and so like this Woman Experience is really born out of my curiosity. I am a very curious person from childhood. I want to know. I'm very, very fascinated by human behavior and societal structures. And so this is why I created something like this, because this kind of feeds my curiosity, and I get a lot of questions answered. And I'm an avid learner, not in the traditional sense of a classroom, but just learning via life. And yeah, and so this is really like the best of both worlds. So it's challenging. It's got its own challenges because time, you know, as parents, work, life balance, it's very hard to really find the right compromise. But because it's a passion, it often doesn't feel like work. Yeah, so that's how I do it.
So my question is, what TVs or what movies have you produced?
Okay, so I have produced personally 3 movies. I have one that's out on YouTube called Woman, but I don't know if you're allowed to watch that. But it's on YouTube, it's for free. It's called Woman. I'll send a link to your parents so that you can watch it. And I'll put it in the comment section for anybody who's actually watching the show now who doesn't know about Woman. Please go watch it. I'll put it in the comment section. And then I have Life, and I have a film called Bushfaller. I co-produced Life with another lady. They are all ready. This year was supposed to be my year of releasing all the films I've done, but COVID played its game. So 2021. I'm going to be releasing those 2 films. And I have a series of short films I've actually been shooting during this quarantine, which was inspired by the series I did on mental health. So yeah, and so that will be on my YouTube channel, The Goretti Experience. So yeah, so it's going to come up. But I'm definitely going to put Woman in the comment section so people can watch.
So the last question I have is, what impact is this show having on people?
Oh my goodness, Kirsten, Aiyven, that is a brilliant question, because the feedback is what keeps me going. The feedback has been amazing, and I think I'm echoing people's words when I say that so many people wanted a platform like the Woman Experience, where we could really talk about those like I always say, those conversations that are kept hush hush or that are swept under the rug. There's so many topics of discussion in our community and issues that affect us that are not necessarily encouraged to be talked about. You're just supposed to grin and bear them and deal with them. And yeah, so I think the feedback, having these conversations in the open, no matter how controversial, no matter how difficult, the feedback has been overwhelming in a healing sense. Because I get so many people in my inbox and on my social media handles telling me how impactful every single episode is. And I think if I wasn't getting that feedback, because like you said, I think it's Aiyven who said that no matter how well you think, or people may think you're doing something, if you do not get feedback, you don't often know if you're doing it right. So feedback just helps to, so feedback just gives you the fuel to continue to move forward and to say, okay, it's a learning process, I'm going to get better, and at least there's 1 or 2 people actually enjoying this. And so that's it for me. But girls, thank you for these questions, actually. Thank you. Yeah. So huge congratulations to you guys, and may God bless your efforts. That's from Auntie Rosaline. We are proud indeed. That's from Auntie Bishop Beryl Asembe. Auntie Rosemary says we're proud of you girls. I think, who else? Auntie Tessie says passion is the word. And Auntie Louisa again says, I like the fact that they're requesting for a review of their books from their readers. Very innovative kids. And Auntie Martha says, I'm so proud of the girls. Myself, my 10-year-old son and 6-year-olds are watching and learning. Well done. And Auntie Collie says, the Woman Experience is a safe haven for controversial discussions. It really is. And I think if I didn't say that, I need to say it again. I can't thank the tribe enough. The Woman Experience tribe, people who dedicate their Wednesdays and Fridays evening to just have these conversations, share their experiences, learn, and you guys are the real MVPs, and I'm really grateful for you, because without that, we wouldn't have known about Kirsten and Aiyven. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. And lastly, for Auntie Cynthia, she says, very nice one, girls. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It has really been brilliant. So final words to your guests, all of the people who are watching you, before I let you girls go.
Thank you, all our guests again. You've been so amazing on this live. And it's kind of like we're a car and all the feedback is petrol. Like a car can't run without fuel. So thank you so much for fueling us, making sure we still have that motivation to keep going. And your comments do really mean something to us.
Thank you once again. And we love doing this. So thank you, Auntie, for inviting us.
Thank you so much, Auntie Goretti.
So good. And thank you to everyone who attended. We definitely understand why our mum watches this every time the show is on, because this show is just, it's amazing being on it, and it would be the same for watching it. So thank you, everybody. And I say definitely, keep up with the feedback. It's really good. Thank you again.
Oh, thank you, girls. Bye-bye. And yeah, we'll see you via your books, yeah? And hopefully when Corona is through. All right, bye, girls. Have a good night.
Bye.
And
Thank you very much. Thank you, Auntie.
Bye. Oh my goodness, guys, these were our babies. And I see your comments. They are so heartwarming to me, because I can only imagine how the girls would feel and their parents would feel after reading such encouraging words. But I think I want to reiterate your comments, the woman experience. You guys truly are amazing. Honestly, I'm getting emotional, but thank you. Yeah, thank you. Oops, I'm getting a bit emotional, but thank you. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being here every Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. I appreciate you, really. I appreciate what we're building. I'm so proud of what we're building. And I just pray, that we continue to grow and change our world one conversation at a time here on the Woman Experience. I can't say much more than the children have said about reading. There's a reason why they're saying readers are leaders. There is a reason. It's very evident in Kirsten and Aiyven. It is very evident. These are 12 and 11-year-old girls who are everything, every parent's dream: confident, smart, knowledgeable, talk about knowing the subject matter, like Adeline said. They like, and when you watch them on their YouTube channel, the Mbawa book reviewers, which I really encourage you to subscribe to, they are amazing. They are brilliant. Go there, support our girls. Please buy their books. Buy their books. The books are here. Land of Neurogons. Buy it as a gift. If you are an adult and you think you don't want to read it, gift it to a child, a niece, a nephew, a friend's child. Let us support them, because the books are truly, truly brilliant, and you can tell that they put their heart and soul into it, and their imagination will blow you away. So thank you so much for watching. We're back on Friday with Vivi Lulin. For those who, I don't know if I pronounced that right, Auntie Vivi. But for those who know her, it's going to really be a really brilliant conversation on Friday. So make sure you're here 8 p.m. And yeah, I would see you. And for those of you who are new to the Woman Experience, please stay for the content. Please make sure you like our page, follow our page, share it with people who don't know about us, and spread the word that we're out here doing something for the community via the Woman Experience. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on Friday. Have a good night. Everybody wants to find the perfect match for their financial needs. Secured savings, stress-free access to affordable loans, instant mobile money transfers to MTN and Orange Cameroon, and even a share in the profits as a member owner. For over 7 years, RENCAM Credit Union has been the perfect match for Cameroonians living in the UK and other nationals with interest in the Cameroonian heritage. Visit rencam.co.uk. Join RENCAM Credit Union today, achieving success together. Good night. See you on Friday.